I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I've just been following events on this Bobrisky, very dark man, the Falanas, and the Nigerian Correctional Center and EFCC. I have not spoken because I've been critically looking at the issues. Number one, let me start with Bobrisky. Bobrisky, you don't deserve the attention that Nigerians are giving to you, and you cannot force your lifestyle on us. Those who are paying attention to him and promoting him, they are a problem to the future of our children in Nigeria. Since when did transvestism, which is what you are doing, become something that should be celebrated? It's just the level of decay of our mindset. It's an attempt to force rubbish down our throats. It might be accepted in other cultures, and I don't have anything against those cultures. But social intelligence requires that you should be conscious of the environment you are in, very conscious of where you are. And Joseph, Genesis chapter 41, verse 14, and Joseph shaved himself when he was going to see Pharaoh. Because as at that time, before the conquest by Ataturk, Egyptians didn't like beards. They were clean shaven. And if you watch films of Moses and all that, you will see that they were clean shaven. And because Joseph was going to see the king, he had to shave and change his clothing to see Pharaoh. He had to be accepted first before his message could be accepted. When Ruth was going to see Boaz, she took her bath, perfumed herself, changed her clothing so that she could appeal to Boaz even in the dark. When Boaz came to the farm, there was a way she spoke. She chose her words. Bobrisky, you talk too much. You are a reckless talker. That's why you put yourself into trouble and you put many people into trouble. I suspect you are not the first person that had a charge dropped by the EFCC. Number one, the EFCC has a right to drop charges against you. If their lawyers advise them, they can drop a charge. EFCC has a right to even plead nolle prosequi. They don't want to prosecute you. It is their prerogative. Even if, listen, when I hear word though, because when they like to sue 1 billion, I don't know what in billion they're hungry now. Even if EFCC, one official without the knowledge of the boss, demanded money from you for the charges to be dropped, must you talk? You want to, because of your inferiority complex. Number two, did Bobrisky call Faz to ask for money? Did the man who made the audio tape loan Bobrisky money? Was Bobrisky refusing to pay his money? Did Bobrisky eventually pay? Is there evidence that he paid? They are all online. If there's evidence that he paid, then people should stop troubling very dark black man. It is within the professional rights of Femi Falana to ask for a fee to plead for pardon. This is his work. He's a lawyer. You don't feed him. He's not your boyfriend. He's not your father. Femi Falana, from the interview he granted Shehu, said that Bobrisky called Faz. So there is a relationship, professionally at least, or socially, I don't know, socially, between Faz and Bobrisky, because Bobrisky can't call me for help or money. So they know each other. So there is some level of authenticity in what VDM, very dark man, said. Is it possible that Bobrisky was trying to use that medium to extort money from people by saying that EFCC demanded for 15 million? It is possible. Those people don't have character. Bobrisky doesn't have character. Somebody who can live a fake life can be a false witness. So what do we need to do instead of diverting attention from the key issues? Number one, let's authenticate the voices in the tape. House of Representatives, you don't have the capacity to do that. There are many issues you have investigated. Nothing came out. Remember, off the mic, Akpabio, off the mic, NDDC. Till today, we didn't hear anything from it. Stop doing busybody. There are more serious issues than Bobrisky and very dark man. EFCC cannot investigate itself and their staff. There must be an independent inquiry headed by Reverend Father Kuka and people like Mike Ozehome and other prominent, trustworthy Nigerians in that committee to investigate these issues, not House of Rep committee. Very dark man. You are doing a good job for your age. You are my last son's age mate. You are sacrificing so much for this country. But a solitary fighter against corruption in this country will not succeed. You are undergoing too much pressure. Institutionalize your struggle. Form a registered organization in this country with a structure, with registered followership, like this Serap. When Showore came back to Nigeria and he was arrested, there was a large crowd in front of the international airport. And government does not like bad publicity. He had to be released. you going to the House of Reps with Deji. I know Deji. I've met him one-on-one in the house of a former governor. And then your 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 Obonge Juju man is dramatic, but it is not forceful. If there were 30,000 men and women, old and young, standing in front of the House of Reps, they will know that you have started a movement in this country. What you are doing, my son, if you forgive me, you're my son, last born's age mate, and I respect you and I love you, is that you are leading a fight, lead a movement. Some of us will join you. The next thing I want to say, if you form that kind of movement, the pressure, the attention will not be on you. You can have a powerful office, when I mean office, where these issues are handled. There is the Berekete man. He's doing a good job. And when you have an organization with lawyers, sociologists, advisors, and that kind of team, you will analyze and select your fights. You are spending so much time and energy from your youthful age in fighting corruption. Corruption is a giant in this country. Even at my age bracket, if you know how people are fighting me, the church that I belong to, when I mean belong to the body of Christ, when I say things that the church is doing wrong, the way they fight me, the way they threaten me, it's enormous. Nigeria is so rotten that the rottenness wants to eat any level of sanity in it. So form an organization. Is it Ganifa or Emi? I think he had a political party, Nigerian Consciousness Party also. Have a body that people will respect and fear, because they bring finances, bring intellect and all that. Very dark man. Please don't consult only radicals. Consult mature men that can counsel you wisely. Some of the people you consulted, they are now doing like chameleon. So have a team of mature and reasonable people that you will consult before you make some decisions. And over availability reduces value. It's not everything you will get involved in. You are doing a good work. May the good Lord, the God your mother serves, preserve you and keep you. EFCC. EFCC chairman, I want to beg of you, if people respect you and fear you, if not, there are a lot of things flying around. Right from the time of Farida, through Bawa to you, to your turn. A lot of people under you are misbehaving. They are doing a lot of rubbish. Please, for the sake of your name and your future, reorganize the system. Insist on some things. Don't be part of the corruption that is coming up bit by bit in the system. We receive a lot of complaints from people. Let the EFCC not become an agency of oppression and terrorism. Let it not avoid people like Bello and pursue small fries. Let Bobrisky not be sentenced and then one big man, you people also charged. We don't know what happened. EFCC, clean your image. The next thing is the prison, the correctional centers. Correctional center, I want to ask a simple question. I saw a video of one facility that was closed down. What facility is that one? Who are those that stay there? What are they doing there? Is it a legally constituted entity? Correctional center. I want to ask another question. Do you have videographic evidence, photographic evidence, testimonies of fellow inmates with Bobrisky in the correctional center that he was in prison, in quote? If you don't have a lot of the defenses you are making, that he has the features of breast by buttocks and that, so you have to put him in a special facility. Which facility? I saw the man defending himself was shaking, throwing newspapers up and down like somebody who did not prepare for a university defense. You have a lot of questions to answer, more especially when we have had several breaks, prisoners escaping. There are stories of people with phones. I have received message from prison, from a prisoner. I don't know how I got access to phone. And I told him he should never call me again. Anytime he wants to call me, it should be somebody from the prison that will call me and I will speak with him. Because I know that if anything happens to him, if he escapes, I will be arrested. There needs to be a total overhaul of our correctional centers. I want to talk to the Falanas. Go after Bobrisky. He is the number one, authenticate that tape. Number two, if it proves to be true, if Bobrisky called Faz, what did they discuss? If Bobrisky asked for money, go after Bobrisky, not very dark man. Number three, it is within your rights to be paid for legal services. You are a Nigerian, Bobrisky can beg you money, and you have a right to refuse, and you have a right to give. Unless he specified that he was using it to bribe, then you refused to give. But there is no evidence that you gave. Don't take very dark man to court. I've studied that boy over the years. He's a dangerous fellow. He's an intelligent human being. If a fly perches on your brocos, we call it brocos. Don't worry. You will call it blocos. We call it brocos. If a fly perches on your brocos, use wisdom to drive it away. Just saying that you are not involved, you are not his godfather, you did not join Bobrisky in his stupid talks that Bobrisky is talking foolishly, you will have cleared your name. Femi Falana, I knew you when you were in the University of Ife. I was already in medical school in the University of Ibadan, and you used to come. I have respected you, and my respect for you will not fall. Let the family of the Falanas not come like market women and be fighting very dark man. It will not end up well for your reputation. If you your press conference you did, very good. Your daughter coming to abuse very dark man, very bad. Force saying that he should retract it, not reasonable. Should have confronted Bobrisky. Bobrisky is the person that should be pressurized to open up, not very dark man. I might be biased, but I think these questions are reasonable questions that need to be answered. Femi Falana, if you are older than I am, it's not much. Because when I was in medical school, you were in Ife, you had not gone to law school. I remember when you came. So, be calm. This whole episode will soon wear away. As for Auntie Kemi accusing you, leave Auntie Kemi alone. I know her. I know her father. She stands for some things. These fights are distractions. There are greater fights in this country instead of very dark man, Bobrisky, Auntie Kemi, and those people. Auntie Kemi is doing her work. She has her own stories. The more you fight people, my brother Falana, the more dust will be raised. Give this story 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. It will fizzle out. It is you that can make it fizzle out. No person has concrete evidence against you and your family. I'm the area grandfather. I'm Dr. Charles Apoki. I was very hesitant to comment on these issues. These questions should be analyzed in the comment section, but at least be reasonable. I have a conference coming up online on the 8th and on the 9th of November, and is becoming a person of influence. You can see the stress that follows becoming a person of influence. Send a message to +234 8021219262. It's very easy. +234 Nigerian code 8021219262, and it will tell you how to register for the webinar. God bless you. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki, the area grandfather.